All right, and welcome to the PuddyMod YouTube channel. And on the bench today are some seat pressure sensors for a Toyota FJ Cruiser. We're putting a WRX seat in the passenger side, so in order to get all the things that are safety oriented to the vehicle working properly, it's important that we put everything in this new WRX seat just like it would have been from the factory if it had come that way. So anyway, we have our airbag here. That will be going into the side of this WRX seat. We're going to get rid of this airbag here. It's really a pretty quick and easy job. I'm going to be removing the sliders so I have more access to getting up underneath the seat to install our seat sensors, pressure sensors. This wiring harness is all incorporated into this. This came out of a 2010 Tacoma. I didn't want to take my FJ Cruiser seat apart. I really wanted to keep it just the way it was. So I went and got donor parts, and which are identical to the FJ Cruiser. So this is all plug and play kind of stuff. I already put the module in for the FJ. This is the module for the WRX seat, and this is where it plugged into up into here. But of course, nothing's compatible with this stuff, so it's got to go. And that's why we're pulling the airbag as well, so that everything is going to be plug and play when we put it back into the FJ. So all right, let me go ahead and get the bracket off here, the seat slider, and then we'll start figuring out how we're going to get these wired in and get the airbag in. All right, airbag's easy. This other stuff a little bit more involved. All right, stand by. All right, we have everything mapped out here. We have one seat sensor right there, second seat sensor there. One down in this corner, one right there. I just have to do a little bit of trimming on these plates here. I just pulled the zipper up out of the seat. It just kind of stuffs back in there so it's out of sight. And there's no little handle on it, so you just kind of have to, separate it. I'm doing it with one hand, so because I'm holding the camera here, but yeah, you just kind of up it goes, and just like that. And now we're starting to expose what we need to expose. You can see the cord there for the airbag. And we'll sneak all this stuff through, and we just have to pull this up out of the way like we did on the other seat. I'll unleash the other side as well to loosen everything up. And the airbag is just right behind this foam here, and it's pretty easy to get to. All right, next we got both sides unzipped here. So we have our release. So this piece right here is a little edge, and it just rolls up underneath this thing here, and that released the back completely. So now you're all the way into the back. Oh, there we go. The seat rocked a little bit. Sorry about that. And then we go right in here, and there's your airbag. And your fasteners are, hopefully, let's see if we can get that. There's one right there. There's two 10 millimeters that hold it, and they're in the exact same location as the FJ airbag is. All right, this is our old airbag, the airbag for this seat, the WRX. It's out. You can see it's long. This is actually all extra material here. Is how they just, folded it all up. On the FJ airbag, they didn't have a lot of extra material. That's why it's this size here. This airbag is actually the same size. This is just, like I said, just fluff. There's nothing there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in place and finish up this job. All right, we are in. Strap is in place. You can see your two 10 millimeter fasteners right here. One there, them long studs. That's what holds your airbag in place. The new FJ, and we'll just put all this foam back together. We gotta route I put a little tab in there, so the tug tab I actually was able to utilize as well. And we'll go ahead and route this back underneath the seat, get our foam all zipped up, and move on to the next phase of the job. All right, we're all zipped up here in place. There's our airbag connection on this rail here that was on the Subaru seat base. Put a clip in place. Everything is really nicely, neatly done here, just like factory. So let me put the seat back up on the bench, and I'll show you the side of the seat where the airbag is, just like it's supposed to, all nice and factory-like. And next thing we're going to do is do the modifications necessary to get the seat pressure sensors in place, and then we'll get the seat rails back in, and then we'll go ahead and put it back into the FJ and plug it all in and see what happens. Stand by. All right, we have everything in place. Here's some of our leftover stuff. As you can see here, that's one from the back, one from the front. So the same amount of metal was taken from, both sides of each side of the seat here for these mounts. And then, they were able to be placed into the seat here. Let me back that up so you guys can actually see it. And there it is right inside there, as you can see. And it's mounted. It's nice and neat. Everything looks stock. It's very factory finished. All your connectors are on the rail here, just like they would be from the factory. When you look underneath the seat, everything's nice and tucked up neat. So if you want to put something under here, stow underneath the seat, you can. And everything looks great. This is the seatbelt receiver from the Tacoma. We took the wiring harness off of that, the plug end, and we put it on the Subaru seatbelt receiver here on the side. We put that and wired that in to change the plug, so it would be plug and play into our wiring harness that we have underneath the seat. I still have to do a little finish wiring on this. I didn't have the seat shrink that I wanted to use, so that's the only thing I have really left to do, is to make that final connection on the seatbelt receiver. That goes into the module here, and then out comes out for the all your seat sensors. And then this is the plug that plugs into the FJ. This plugs into the FJ, and really that's it. So you only have two plugs that plug into the FJ. Everything else plugs into itself underneath the seat. This is the modified seat rail slider for this seat. This is an FJ set of rails that we modified. You've seen this earlier in the video. Everything's painted now. Everything's in place. Works like a charm. We'll be mounting up the seat here on that momentarily, and getting the seat into the truck. There it is. I have the plastics back in place here. Airbag in place. I really like how it came out. Really came out nice. Next video, I'll have the rails on, and I'll have the factory seat out of the truck, and we'll be putting this in and plugging it in and seeing what happens. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Thanks for going along with this thing. It's not a bad job. You just have to take your time, find the parts for it, which are pretty readily available. Really inexpensive, really. If you go on Marketplace, you can find an old seat for $50 and cannibalize pretty much everything you need from that one seat. And that's kind of like what I did, except I went and cannibalized out of a couple seats, because some of the seats, the one seat didn't have everything I needed. So, but that last Tacoma seat, that had everything. And so anyway, as I was saying earlier in the video, I really just didn't want to take apart my original seats from the FJ. Look at that cat. What are you doing, you goofball? You just knocked all those filters out of the box. Oh, what a goofball. Well, Shop Kitty, he's just Shop Kitty. But anyway, this seat really came out fantastic. I can't wait to plug it in, kind of see what happens. I don't really anticipate anything going wrong. But again, this is kind of a first-time thing, and so far, I don't know if anybody's been actually successful in getting the pressure sensor thing working in an aftermarket or a seat other than was meant for that vehicle that you're changing the seats out of. So this is a factory seat, but it's out of a WRX, different year car, different model car, different manufacturer. So it's just like having an aftermarket seat. And I've adapted this to fit a 2014 FJ Cruiser and keep all the factory safety stuff in place and working as it was meant to work to keep you safe. And well, we're going to find out if it does just do that and everything works, and I'm praying that it does. And stay tuned for the next video. See ya.